Morning.
Good morning.
Here we are again.
We're back.
I'm Elizabeth. This is Stephanie.
Yep. We're with Carmel Kitchen, and welcome to our Facebook Live.
Yeah, cooking with Carmel again. Of course, Stephanie's got another great recipe going on today.
Another option for Valentine's Day, in case you're still looking for them.
Yeah.
I feel like it should have already come and gone with all of this desserts I'm making. I'm like, is it here yet?
Right? If we had them all sitting here like right now, you know, it'd be like, wow, it's a pretty good Valentine's collection that we got going on this month.
Yeah. So yes, today we tackled a chocolate layer cake, and it is actually also our February recipe challenge. Sometimes I know I can be intimidated by layer cakes that I see at the store or online, and I've tried a couple of them in the past. One of them I had relatively good success with. The other one was a complete failure because it got really heavy and it went like this. It tasted good, but I couldn't keep it up.
You know what? I feel like everything that ends up looking like that is always like the best tasting stuff that I've ever made, but it looks like awful.
I know. And I'm like, so true. So we are going to tackle it. First time I made it, I had pretty good results. The cake stayed intact, and so I'm excited to get going. So today we're going to actually make the cake. I'll show you how to make it, and then we'll make the frosting. I already made the actual cakes that we're going to frost yesterday, so that they're ready to just frost, so you don't have to sit here and watch us bake a cake. And then we'll assemble it, and Elizabeth gets to take it home for Valentine's Day.
Yay! My husband will love that. Like, he loves everything else. So do the kids. So got the best job ever.
Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna get started. The recipe is on our website. It's just chocolate layer cake. We are starting with 2 cups of flour.
And I did put the link to the recipe in the description of the video, so you guys can just click on that link and it'll take you right there.
Yep. And then I'm going to add to this bowl 2 cups of sugar. So in here goes all of our dry ingredients first. And then we're going to do 3/4 of a cup of cocoa powder, unsweetened cocoa powder, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and a teaspoon of salt. And if you saw on the recipe that I have posted, so this is a recipe that I got from Live Love, and I'm not going to do that again.
Eat cake.
Yeah. The link is in the thing. I swear, every time I go to say it, I botch it. But anyway, I put a few notes in there about how I adapted the recipe just based on some of the reviews and some of just my experience in making cake. So this one calls for either hot water. It calls for hot water in the recipe. The first time I made it, I used hot water. I did it exactly like the recipe calls for on her website. And then the second time I made it, which is the cakes that we'll have today, I substituted out the hot water with the hot coffee, and I'm going to do that again today. I think coffee and chocolate are just a natural pairing. The coffee helps bring out the flavor of the chocolate, and you actually don't taste coffee in the end product, so it just enhances the chocolate flavor. Okay, so this is just all whisked together, all of our dry ingredients. And so to this, we're going to add a cup of buttermilk, and there are, you can find it online. If you do not have buttermilk, you can easily make your own buttermilk if you use white vinegar and regular milk. And I can't remember the ratio, but I think it's like a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of vinegar, and then they fill it all the way up to that 1 cup mark, and then you stir it and you let it sit, and it'll start to give it just that hint of sourness. But the recipe is all over online if you just Google homemade buttermilk substitute. Okay, in here goes a cup of oil, and then here is also our
hot coffee.
Hot coffee. And we're gonna do our 2 eggs. We're gonna just get those in the pan or in the bowl here. And in here also goes a 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla, so that's about good right there. Y'all know how I like to measure vanilla. I'd pour the whole bottle in if I could.
Yep. You guys can also sign up on our website to get Stephanie's Monday recipes emailed to you every Monday, so then you'll know what we're making on Tuesday. It's really easy to just sign up for that. And then we also have a ton of recipes that are listed on our website of a bunch of stuff that Stephanie has put together in the past. Just amazing stuff. I'm always going to carmelkitchen.com to find stuff to make for holidays and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, some fun stuff on there. Not all of it is sweet. We do have some savory options of things you can do with the caramel sauce too, so that's kind of nice to, especially the chipotle and the bourbon, we've got some savory options on there. So this is just, it's kind of nice. It's just like a one bowl thing. You can use this in your stand mixer if you want, or the electric mixer, but really it's not that hard to just whip up by hand in a bowl, and you're not getting a whole bunch of stuff super messy. All right,
good.
So you can see this batter is pretty thin, and that's okay. You want it thin. So that's ready to bake, and I'm gonna give you a little tip on how we prepare our pans. So I've already got them prepared here, but you'll wanna spray your cake pans, and I've got 9-inch cake pans here, so you can use 9 or 8 inch. 8 inches are just gonna be a little bit taller cake, and you'll bake them for a few minutes longer. But spray the whole pan with some nonstick spray, and then you cut around a parchment paper, you lay it in there, and then spray it again, and then I like to sprinkle in a little bit of flour, and then I just tap it all the way around, and then I usually do this over the sink, so then I just tap out any excess into the sink, and it is coated, and my cakes come out perfectly every time without sticking. So an easy way to cut around if you don't have parchment around, you can just take a piece of parchment paper. I like to just fold it in quarters, and then I kind of eyeball like where the center is, and then I just kind of cut around. I kind of use that as a
handy dandy
kind of a template, and then I unfold it, and voila, and it doesn't matter if it's not perfectly round, it still works the same way. So I hope you all saw that. It's just a quick little
She's teaching me cool new stuff too.
That's right. So we'll get this in the pan.
Everything I know I learned from her, literally. Whenever it comes to making caramel and stuff anyways.
Okay, so this is another unsolicited advice here. I have 2 different types of pans. They're all 9-inch, so they all stack the same way, but I notice when I'm baking, these ones are Wilton pans, and this one is, it's called Nordic Ware. And by far, if I had all Nordic Ware, I love this one. They bake flat. These ones usually typically have a little bit of mound on them, but this is, if you have these, or if you can get your hands on them, I think they cook better, in my humble opinion. So we're gonna just evenly spread out the cake batter between these 3 pans, and then we'll pop them in the oven.
Yeah. Awesome. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody that got some caramel sauce for their holiday. If you got caramel sauce for Christmas, and if you ever notice some separation start to be going on, that is normal. And it is just because we don't use any preservatives. Our product is all natural. So if that happens to you, you can just put your caramel sauce in some warm water, wait till it just warms up a little bit, and then shake it to reincorporate it. Doesn't happen with the chocolate too much, but
yeah, I think it's the bourbon it happens the most with. I think it's because the bourbon itself has more sugar in it than the rest of our caramel sauce, just because it comes out of the bourbon sauce.
Yeah.
And it's the sugars that separate off of the caramel, so that you really want to just get those incorporated in. They'll be just fine. Okay, so I'm just going to scrape the rest of this in the pan here. Try not to get my hair in it.
See that Aunt Diane says that she made last week's recipe for the Super Bowl.
Ooh, nice.
How'd everybody love that? I know it was a big hit in my house. My son told my daughter to stop talking so that he could enjoy his trifle.
He couldn't enjoy it while he was being talked to?
Yeah.
He's funny. Oh my goodness.
I'm trying to enjoy what I'm eating here.
Quit talking to me.
Yeah.
You're taking away the moment.
Yeah.
He's so funny. Things he comes up with.
Yep.
Gotta love kids. Okay, that's pretty good. So we are gonna pop these in the oven. Oven is preheated to 300. I like to set my timer for about 15 minutes and rotate the pans from top to bottom, because I have 2 on one shelf and one on the other. And so about halfway through cooking, I rotate them so they can cook a little bit more evenly. So 300 for about 28 minutes. If you are having an 8-inch pan, cook a little bit longer, maybe 30, 32 minutes, just depending on how your oven cooks. So I'll pop these in the oven. I'll change the, here, I'll set that here and I'll change up the thing.
Well, so, guess what I've got here? I've got these awesome what to put it on cards. I find these to be the most handiest thing with me whenever I'm out and about at shows and stuff, because people are always looking at all the caramel sauce, because we've got 7 different flavors of caramel sauce. Can you believe that? How on earth did that happen? Right? But they're all delicious, they're all amazing, and these what to put it on cards, which come with every order or whenever we're out about at shows and people buy caramel sauce and we give them one of these. And it's got ideas of what to put it on other than ice cream. So one of these comes with every order, so don't ever worry if you're ever wondering what on earth would I put that on, because I've got tons of options right here for you.
Yes, along with our website.
Yes, yeah, and it's definitely, go check out the website. I mean, I personally, whenever I first started working at Caramel Kitchen, I didn't need anything else to eat it on because the caramel was so good that I just would like sit there and eat it on the sample spoons, or just eat it all day whenever I was cooking it. So I didn't really need anything else to, but now after a year and a half, I've gotten pretty crafty, going and looking at the website and getting the recipes off there and making stuff on there. I mean, my family thinks that I'm crafty anyways.
There you go. So
yeah.
You're here when their eyes.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to our buttercream frosting. And in my bowl, I have 2.5 cups of softened butter. So I'm going to whip this up. It's going to get a little bit loud, and we'll just get this nice and soft.
So while she's doing that, I want to invite everybody that's watching right now to go on our website and leave a review, or leave a review on Facebook or even on Google. We don't care where your reviews come from. And after this morning, what I did whenever I woke up and I was drinking my tea, and yeah, I know. And I went through and I looked at all the new reviews, and we had somebody that put in quite a few reviews on different flavors. So each time you give a review, you get an entry in here for each one. So the more reviews you give, the more entries you're going to get. And we're not picky about where you leave your reviews at. So here in a little bit, I'll do a drawing, and whoever I pull out is going to get a free bottle of caramel sauce. So
nice.
Yeah.
Yes, we love reviews, and I keep telling you, that's how I shop.
Yeah.
I shop by reviews, especially now with some of the stores being closed, and with COVID, you didn't have that ability to go out shopping, so I relied heavily on reviews when I was doing any of my shopping.
Yeah, totally. So you just got to think about whenever people are coming across Caramel Kitchen and they're thinking like, oh, this is just some regular caramel sauce I could just go buy at the store, and then they need your reviews to tell them that it is not just regular caramel sauce, and they could not just go and buy it at the store because it's the best caramel sauce out there.
Besides that, I mean, who else are you gonna, like, the people who make the caramel sauce?
Right?
You're not gonna get that at the grocery store.
It's true.
Right, you get us with it.
Yep.
That's exciting.
Yes.
Okay, so my butter is pretty soft right now, and in here I am going to add, oops, I'll spill that over there. I'm gonna add 4 cups of powdered sugar, and I'm just gonna add this a little bit gradually, so I'm just gonna measure out a cup at a time, and I'm just gonna sprinkle it in, because you all know what happens when you So I'm just going to do a little bit at a time and get it all incorporated.
Yeah, and you guys can go and check out our previous we're cooking with caramel shows on YouTube, and we're now on Rumble as well.
Yep.
We also post them on Instagram, so if you're new to Caramel Kitchen, definitely like, share, tag somebody that needs some sweetness in their life. We love it whenever people share us with their friends and family.
Yeah, I think on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, we're Caramel Kitchen CDA. On Rumble, I think we're just Caramel Kitchen.
Oh,
so
it's good to
there you
know.
go.
Yeah. And for all of our local customers, go on into the shop and get you guys some of that ice cream that we got.
Yes.
Yeah. It's available. It is right there in the front. As a lot of you know, we have the honor system there, so you can buy stuff and pay for it whenever we're not there. You can either call the number to pay by card, or you can leave cash in the box. But we now have a little miniature freezer set up out in the front that I noticed some of you guys have been utilizing, and we've got our ice cream sandwiches in there, and we've got our pints of salted caramel swirl ice cream, and those also come with a happiness guarantee. If it's not the best salted caramel swirl ice cream, then we will give you your money back. And I will have you know that nobody's come back to me wanting their money, so.
No. I bet those ice cream sandwiches are so good.
Yeah.
And they're shareable size. I
Yes.
mean, they're huge.
They're
so
huge.
you can easily share them.
Yeah, you could easily, but you won't want to. Yeah.
My son doesn't like to share them.
Yeah.
And like I tell him, you have to cut that in half, and he gives me that like,
Do I have to?
really?
Yeah.
Really, Mom? You're gonna be like that?
Yeah. Dad's not even home.
You know, right? This is so true.
Yeah.
Mom's the pushover when it comes to sweets.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, as long as you save me a bite.
Right? I know we were talking earlier about, you know, like, how does somebody learn how to only eat half of their dessert?
I know. That's my daughter. My middle daughter. Oh, I had enough after one bite. I'm like,
Yeah.
where'd you come from?
Yeah, right? Please share this information with me.
Yeah. That's not even possible.
Right?
Okay, so there's 2 cups. Sorry, this is a little bit of the tedious process of this dessert, but it'll make for a really nicely spreadable frosting.
Amber Williams says that her favorite caramel ever is the pumpkin spice. I agree. You know, that was the second caramel sauce that Stephanie ever made was the pumpkin spice. I learned that this year whenever we were making it.
Yeah, true story.
Right?
Yeah, because we started our business in the fall, and I thought, hey, pumpkin spice would be awesome because
Yeah.
it was everywhere. You know, you can't go around a corner without seeing pumpkin spice somewhere. So yeah, and it turned out it's one of my absolute favorite flavors.
Yeah, mine too.
And we still do have some of it left in stock.
Yeah, we do, and it's only going to be in stock until it's sold out. So we always have those people that in a few months, whenever it's gone, they're like, when are you going to be bringing back the pumpkin spice? So if you're one of those people, definitely get your pumpkin spice right now, because if you are one of them, it won't be back until September.
Yes, there's so many people that are like pumpkin spice is a year-round season.
Yeah.
There are those people out there.
Yep. And I'm one of them. I'll admit it. Like I don't only eat pumpkin spice in the fall, but.
Yeah, and you know, it's kind of like Christmas songs. Sometimes I like to listen to a Christmas song in July.
Yeah, it's true.
Because you're not so sick of it.
Yeah.
You know?
I totally agree.
So pumpkin spice in July is
Yep.
not a bad thing. Okay, here goes cup number 4. We're just gonna keep at this.
All right. So I'm going to read you guys a couple of reviews of the salted caramel. This is from Lois Gaskell, who left quite a few reviews last week, so thank you for that.
Yes.
But she says, best salted caramel sauce I've ever tasted.
Woo!
I agree. This yummy salted caramel is great in coffee and on top of ice cream, cereal, pies, and everything else.
Cereal? Did she say cereal?
She did.
She put it on cereal.
Yep.
Wow, I haven't tried that one yet.
Very creamy and rich tasting. This is one of my son's favorites, and we appreciate that it's gluten-free.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
It's all of our sauces are gluten-free. There's no preservatives. There's no corn syrup. What else?
No nuts?
No nuts. Yeah, I knew there was something else. We don't have any of that stuff anywhere near our commercial kitchen, which, just a friendly reminder, this is not our commercial kitchen. You know, we're not wearing gloves, and we don't have our hairnets on, stuff like that. So just on Tuesdays, we get to come and have fun with you guys. And then we don't have to do all that stuff that we do in our commercial kitchen, but.
That's right. Okay, so in this I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of milk. It's starting to get a little thick, so we're just going to thin it down a little bit, and then we're going to continue to add the rest of our powdered sugar. We're going to end up adding about, and I'm also going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla to this as well. So there's about 1, 2, 3, maybe.
You can never have too much vanilla anyways.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we're going to just keep adding some more powdered sugar, and then at the very end we're going to add our cocoa powder, give it a really nice big stir to make sure it's all nice and smooth, and then we'll be ready to frost our cake.
Yeah. So as I was talking earlier about these, what do I put it on cards? These also come with the best caramel corn recipe on the other side.
Yes.
So if you're just getting your feet a little bit wet and and you're not sure if you're really can make recipes like I was, it's really easy just to start with some best caramel corn. And you can use this. This is definitely versatile. Like this one is with the salted caramel. What is it?
Chipotle?
Yeah.
The picture is with Chipotle.
Yeah, and
But you can use any flavor.
yeah, but you could use any flavor, and I'm a big fan of Chipotle because it is so versatile. But people really love to make the salted caramel corn too.
They do. I get that question a lot. And sometimes I do get the, hey, I used to have that recipe card and I can't find it, and you had that recipe for caramel corn and I want to make it. It is on our website.
Yes.
So you can always find it there. So if you
Or you can order some caramel and we will send you.
It will send you another card.
I'm not picky about who gets cards, you know.
That's right.
I don't check to make sure that you got one last time. I just
That's right.
get
You get another one.
Yeah.
If you like to share those cards.
Yeah.
Take it to your next recipe exchange.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let me know if you need a few.
Yeah. All right, we're still stirring.
Yeah.
We're almost done. We got a couple more cups of powdered sugar to add to this, and then we will get to frosting the cake, which is actually my favorite part.
Sure is.
And you're gonna see me be my perfectionist come out of me.
Did you guys see me thinking that?
Yeah. Were you thinking that? Were you thinking that?
Yeah.
I can.
I looked at them and I thought,
I can feel you think that.
These poor people. This is going to be an hour-long show today.
Hey, be nice.
I am being nice.
That was you being nice?
Yeah. Right.
Is anyone keeping track of how many cups of powdered sugar I'm putting in
That's
here?
what I was just wondering. I thought you said 3 in the beginning. That was about 7 cups ago.
No, we start with 4, and then we add some cream, and then we add. Oops, sorry.
That's what I get.
That's what you get. Wine butter. And then we're gonna add a total of 9 cups of powdered sugar. So make sure you go buy yourself a nice big package of powdered sugar.
Yes.
I didn't say this is a calorie-free recipe. I did say it was good for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Those
Which
days
nobody
of the
should
year,
be counting calories on Valentine's Day,
Nope.
so.
It's a free
Yeah,
day.
right? Totally is. So, I actually came to Carmel Kitchen through a life recovery program, the Union Gospel Mission, and I thought it would be cool today to just give a little shout out to anybody that's in recovery. I hit my 2.5-year mark on the 31st of January, and I kind of, just forgot to say anything about it, but if any of you guys are in recovery, or if you know somebody that's in recovery, let us know their story. I think it's really important that we acknowledge those that are in recovery, and
Yeah, absolutely, and celebrate their successes,
Yeah.
because it is not an easy thing.
Yeah.
No, and super, super proud of Elizabeth. A couple weeks ago, Brad and I got to go listen to her full testimony, and she just did an amazing job, and she shared it with the Celebrate Recovery group at one of the local churches, and I could tell that she just really made an impact on a lot of people's lives that were there, and I know that, I was even wowed by your story and what God has been able to do in your life, and I just think that is a huge testament to our God.
Yeah,
And He restores lives,
Yes, he does.
and super thankful for that.
Yep, me too. So I got to stay grateful and stay connected to everybody that is my recovery network. So I'm just asking, maybe if you know somebody that's in recovery, if you're in recovery, comment, let me know. I love to be in contact with everybody that's kind of sharing the same journey, whether it's the same as mine or not. So
Yeah, absolutely.
recovery is recovery. So stand strong.
Absolutely. Love it.
Is this the last one?
This is the last one. We're going to add a little bit more of our cream to this to thin it up a little bit, because then we're going to add our cocoa powder, and then we're going to get to frosting and eating.
Yeah. See, I knew she was not almost done. She's like, yeah, this is the last one, but it's really not the last one.
Okay, I have one. When I'm down to my last ingredient going into the bowl, we're almost done.
Yeah, the last ingredient, but not the last scoop of the ingredient prior.
Well, I actually think
That's a lot of frosting for that cake.
it is, and I actually think that the recipe, when I made it, I ended up with extra frosting. So I don't know if she just put, when she made the cake, if she just put the frosting on thicker than I did. For all you thick frosting lovers out there.
Yeah.
Or maybe she ate some with a spoon and she needed it because she needed the extra.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna get this nice and stirred, and like my own little stand mixer.
Yep.
Goes around in circles for me.
I'm going to read you guys another review. This is from the Mysterious Liz. Mysterious Liz, you need to let us know what your last name is, just in case we pick your name out of the, I have you in here as Mysterious Liz, because you left us quite a few reviews, but your name is just Liz, so I don't know how to find you.
That's right.
But she says, who needs a recipe? This stuff is so good, I don't need any recipes to put it on. All I need is a spoon.
Yep.
I will say that over and over again. Yes, I can totally relate to that.
We tell people that is the great calorie saver, because really if you have a sweet tooth and you just need a little something to cure it, just take a little spoonful.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Speaking of calorie saver, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to tell you the last ingredient I put in here is 1 cup of the unsweetened cocoa powder. So now we're going to turn this into chocolate frosting.
Yeah. So what I was going to say was I actually did a little bit of research, and if you want to make your kids some oatmeal in the morning and give them just a little squeeze of the cinnamon vanilla caramel sauce on top of their oatmeal, it actually has half as much sugar in it as a bowl of the average bowl of cereal. So, that's really something to think about whenever, just because it's sweet doesn't mean that it's not healthy.
And oatmeal is a great
way to start your day.
Yeah, it stays with you, and it's one of those good superfoods.
Yep. And it does not take very much of the cinnamon vanilla on top of oatmeal.
And it's gluten-free too.
Yep,
you can get gluten-free oats, and so you're still maintaining a gluten-free diet for all of you out there that still wants a little something.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to scrape down the sides real quick, and then we're going to give this one last big whip, and then we should be good. So I just want to get the stuff that's stuck to the sides in the bowl incorporated and kind of lift it off the bottom. We'll give it one more really big stir, so it's going to get a little bit loud in here while we do it, because I'm going to pump it up to full speed and get it nice and incorporated and smooth. We don't want any chunks of sugar left in the frosting. And I think my timer just went off, right?
So is it the cake?
Yeah, so it's been 15 minutes since it's been baking, so at this point in time I like to flip-flop the pans and put the ones that were on the bottom on the middle shelf and the ones that are on the middle down below, so they have just even baking. So Elizabeth is going to handle that, and I'm going to whip this up really loud and I'm going to get on with decorating. Nice to wear an apron with this kind of recipe because it does splatter. Normally I would make this in my stand mixer, but I kind of wanted you guys to see how it all comes together, so that's why I'm using a bowl and the stand mixer. It doesn't tend to splatter on me when I'm using my stand mixer, but for the sake of showing you what we're doing, we're getting a little messy. We got chocolate flying. About 12 more minutes. Alright, so you can see it's starting to lighten in color, and that's good. That's getting it light and airy and really smooth. So just punch this up and
it's looking good.
Yeah,
looking good and delicious. I'll tell you what.
That's a bonus.
Yep.
Why we have the washcloth right here with us when we're doing this. Okay. So you can tell this is a really thick frosting, and it's going to pipe really well. So that's the good thing about being able to decorate the cake is the frosting's going to hold up well for decorating. All right. I think that's good.
Looks good. It smells good. It smells really good in here as usual.
I'm really full of chocolate.
Right.
There's worse things in life than
it's true.
being covered in chocolate.
Yeah. I know. I think it kind of comes with the territory. Yeah. We've got a little friend down here too.
Yeah. Buddy's in the kitchen with us.
Yeah.
We found it's easier for him to just be able to walk around as opposed to trying to contain him.
Yeah.
Because then he gets to be a part of the show without making noise.
Yep.
Any of you all have a 4-month-old puppy right now? You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're going to start decorating. And I put it on here so that I can show you so it's easier. Normally at this point in time I would probably get a platter out or a cake stand. Here is my, I think this is a 10-inch round disc. You can get them individually or in a package. They're super inexpensive at like Walmart or Michael's or Hobby Lobby. So what I like to do when I'm decorating and I know what stand I'm going to put it on, I like to put a little bit of frosting on my plate and then smush this down on it. And it kind of acts like a glue, so it'll keep it from sliding around. It's like you can see, it's not coming off.
Yeah, so that whenever she shows it to you guys this time, it will stay on the plate.
And then I do the same thing. Now I'm going to take a little bit, and I'm just going to put a little bit on the bottom of my round when I put my first layer on, and it'll help act like a glue to keep the bottom layer of the cake in place. So let me go grab our cakes. And this is one of our finished layers, and you can see I even, oops, there we go, sliding off. Because I have the parchment paper, and you see it comes right off, really easy, and that came right out of my pan. I just wanted to show you how easy that is to do. So I'm just gonna try and center this a little bit. Move that up, out of the way. So for this part, I'm going to take my offset spatula and I'm going to just create my first layer of frosting in between my layers. So this is going to be kind of 1/4 of an inch thick, and I'm just kind of spreading it around and just making it a smooth, even layer. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It could go all the way to the edge because we're going to end up frosting the whole side, so you want this to go at least to the edge, and it's okay if it hangs over a little bit because we're going to come back over and we're going to smooth it out once all of our layers are on top.
Well, it smells delicious.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Looks like I could eat it with a spoon.
Yep. This is true. So while she's getting that going, I'm going to do the drying right now for this week's winner.
And a winner caramel dinner.
Yep, winner caramel dinner. Somebody's getting caramel for Valentine's Day.
Woohoo!
Jill Ayala.
Ayala. Yes, Jill, awesome. You have been a huge supporter of us for a long time, and we appreciate that.
Yep, so Jill, it's paying off. You're getting a free bottle of caramel this week.
Woohoo!
So I'll be getting a hold of you after this and
nice.
Getting your, I'm sure your shipping address is already in the, I did check for a Liz to see, you know, like what Liz's were in the ship station, and, you know, like if I could track down this mysterious Liz, but there's too many of them.
Is it you?
No. Oh. my name, I don't go by Liz.
I was wondering if that's how you're trying to, you know, get some free caramel out of this deal.
Yeah. I don't get enough free caramel.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey. Okay, so we put on our second layer right now, and you can see that it's just pushing it off to the sides. When we get down to the end of, like if I were to do this at home and I wasn't under the time constraints of being on live, I would actually frost the layers, and then I'll show you what I'll kind of show you, but I would do a skim coat around the whole, crumb coat is actually what it's called, around the whole cake, and let it set so that it locks in the crumbs. But right now we don't have that kind of time to let it set, so the end result's going to probably be a little bit more crummy than, not crummy isn't bad, but crummy as in cake crumbs.
Yeah.
Than normally if I were going to be doing this at home. So I'm just trying to make it flat and even, get it all off to the sides. Trying not to be too picky. I just want you to have a perfect cake.
Right?
Okay, and so here goes our final layer. I'm gonna take off the parchment paper, and we're gonna flop it back and lay it down. You can see how it's pretty crumbly and moist. This is a really moist cake. I don't know if you can tell by looking at it, but it's really moist. Trust me. So at this stage in the game, if I were to do this at home and I had lots more time, I would be doing a really light layer around the whole cake to lock in those crumbs. And I'm gonna try and do that a little bit here, and then I'll go back over and put a thicker layer on once this is kind of in place. The whole idea is to not have your final layer be full of crumbs.
Yeah.
Because you want it to look cool, look nice and smooth.
Yeah, especially if you're making it for your honey for Valentine's Day.
That's right.
Well, I don't know. My husband might appreciate it more if there was crumbs all over it, and then it would actually look like I had a hard time.
It's like, you really did make this cake.
Yes.
It's authentic.
Yeah. It's an authentic Elizabeth cake.
It's my friend Casey. She'd be like, nailed it.
Yeah.
Like that show.
Yeah.
Okay, so now to do a crumb coat along the sides, I take my offset spatula and I actually just kind of go along the edges just like that, and just kind of get that first layer, and you can see how it's mixed with some crumbs in there. I don't know, can you see it's a little bit crummy?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're trying to just lock into the cake. And you'll just continue to do this all the way around the cake. I'll wipe off the crumbs off my spatula, and then we'll come back in with one final layer, and then we'll decorate.
Awesome. So this week we want to give a shout out to Vashon Island Coffee. They're located obviously in Vashon, Washington. They're right off of Vashon Highway 1952-9 Vashon Highway Southwest. They are a historic coffee roastery and store. So they actually use our wholesale chocolate syrup and caramel syrup in their coffees that they make there. So if you are a coffee shop owner and you are interested in that product that we carry, it's actually different than our caramel sauce. We make syrup as well for coffee shops and all that great stuff. It is also all natural. You don't use any preservatives. And it's, I think personally, it like the flavor distinguishing between caramel kitchen caramel and like pump caramel that somebody, you know, what is that called, like Totino's or something?
Okay, we're not saying names.
Oh. Well, anyways.
Other big commercial brands that are out there.
Yeah.
You see at all the coffee store stands.
Yeah.
There's lots of them. There's lots of different varieties out there.
Yeah, and there's just no comparison at all. So
no, there's really not. And with ours, along with our caramel sauce, it hasn't been sitting on the shelf for months and months. You're getting it fresh.
Yep.
So that is a big difference in our flavor profile than a lot of the other just bigger brands that you can get out on the marketplace.
And I know that for me, that you know, me being a customer to other places, that I'm all about all natural. If some place tells me that what they have doesn't have any preservatives, I'm all about it. Please help me not eat preservatives, especially in today's world. So.
Yeah, we get enough preservatives in everything else we eat, so we try to give it to you fresh and with just real pure ingredients.
Yep. I'll tell you what, that chocolate syrup is the worst as far as whenever I'm making it. After I take a bite of it to make sure it tastes right, I can't stop taking bites of it, so.
Yeah, well, gotta watch you.
Yep.
Sorry, your order was short today.
Yeah.
Too much time, too much fun tasting it. Okay, so that is basically a crumb coat. And really, if you want to just stop there and you're like, this is good enough for me, that's totally fine. You can just add a little bit thicker crumb coat. You don't have to come back over and do the second step. I'm just gonna wipe down real quick the extra crumbs that have fallen so that they don't get into our next layer. And then I'll show you how I use just kind of a blade to smooth out the sides, and we'll get to the fun part of adding what we're all here to see is how do we use our caramel sauce in this. And
yeah.
That's the best part, the little drip. Okay, let me just get these crumbs out of the way because I know they will find their way back into my cake.
Kitchen. Go ahead and like, share, tag somebody. Make sure that you get notifications on when we go live. We do this every Tuesday. We go over what Stephanie put out on Monday for what to make Monday recipe, and then we get together and we make it for you guys and have a lot of fun. And
we get to eat cake.
Yep.
Okay, so let me see if I can do this in a hurry and just give you a basic idea of what it looks like. Let me scrape this off. You know how hard this is for me to do like this? Because normally when I'm in my home kitchen, it's like everything is just like all, I take the time and I make it all nice and neat and pretty, and when I'm doing it live, I feel rushed.
Right?
Like, oh my gosh.
And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but those pictures, well, most of them, but the pictures that Stephanie takes of what she made, she does that herself. Like, those are actually pictures of what she made, so.
Okay, so I have this little scraper tool and I love it. I use it a lot. So basically what I do when I'm gonna come around and do a final coat is I add the frosting and then I use this to smooth it out. So it's just, and I actually have a little turntable at my house too that I put it on. You know what it is? Have you ever seen like those stackable turntables that you can put all your spices on? It's like a spice turntable. Well, it's like a Lazy Susan for your spices. Well, it's the perfect size to put a cake on, so I don't use it for my spices, but I use the little turntable and I put my cake thing on and I spin it, and so when I'm spinning it, I just sit here and it just smooths out the frosting. So I'm basically taking just a little extra frosting, making it a little thicker, and just gonna get a little bit thicker layer on there on the side so that you get a nice amount of frosting with each bite.
And raspberries are gonna go on top?
Raspberries and chocolate are gonna go on the top, and and I am not a professional cake decorator, you guys, so those of you who are saying, she's doing it all wrong, just okay, I'm here for the home cooks.
Yeah.
I'm not here for you professionals, although I'd love to have you here. You can give me all kinds of advice and I will be glad to listen to it, because I just kind of do as I go.
Yep.
Is that, those need to probably come out. Okay, so we're just gonna call that relatively good for the sake of time. And I'm gonna add a little bit more to the top. I usually come back in and smooth it out a little bit more, just to make sure it's nice and even on the top as well. But you can go as rustic, or if you are like me and you need all your edges to be totally perfect, then you can actually spend a lot of time just refining your frosting on your cake to the point where my daughter's like, can we just eat it, please? Are you done yet, Mom? So, is that okay? Will Everett still eat it if it's not perfect?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He'll believe that I helped make it.
Okay. Okay. So, the next step, if you really want it to look pretty, I have all this extra frosting left over, and we're just going to show you just briefly on the sides how you can make it look, dress it up just a little bit before we go on to decorating it. And thanks for hanging out with us. We know this is a longer episode, but making a 3-layer cake is not something you just whip up.
Yeah,
I've noticed.
This is actually this month's recipe challenge. So I put the hashtag for the chocolate cake, Carmel Kitchen CDA chocolate cake recipe challenge in the description. So if you're gonna make this cake, please do. Please, you know, if you want to join the challenge, we're giving away caramel for you to do it. So
absolutely, and it does not have to be perfect, because I have posted pictures on my Instagram of complete failure flops and said, hey, it looks terrible, but it tastes great.
Yeah. And
that's just, you know, so we're not going to judge if your cake's lopsided or like mine has got crumbs showing. And this is not about being perfect. This is about, hey, just step up and try something new and have fun trying something you haven't tried before. Okay, so I have a little star tip, a plastic baggie, cut the ends off. And if you don't have one of these little coupler things, you can always tape the baggie to the thing. But I just like to go with the extra, it's got air bubble in there. Extra frosting, and you can pipe little decorations along the bottom, like that. And you don't have to be a fancy cake decorator. I'm just basically doing about 1 inch and pulling it up, and then 1 inch and pulling it up. And like I said, if I were at home and I had lots of time I'd probably.
Yeah, and if you wanted to, you could, before you added the cocoa powder into the frosting, you could take some out so that it's vanilla frosting, and then you could do the outside with vanilla.
Ooh, you could.
That's my crafty side coming out.
There you go. Okay, so basically you can do a little edge like that all the way around the bottom. Can you see that? I think so. And then this is where we bring in our chocolate caramel. Helps take the lid off. And I like to just go around the perimeter and oh, I think you have to hit timer. And I'm gonna do a ring a couple times around, and that ring is going to, as I go around, it's going to cause the chocolate to drip down the sides. And that's what's gonna give you the chocolate drips that you see in the picture. Because I'm not going all the way around. I'm not filling the whole entire cake with our caramel sauce. I'm just doing enough. You can see it starting to drip down the sides there. And if you want more drips, you can just kind of hang it off the edge a little bit. You just kind of do that. And then to make it pretty, again, I would take our rest of our frosting and just do more of these just around the whole entire perimeter of the cake. And then when I'm done, what I really loved about this cake is the pop of red and the fresh berry flavor that it gave. So I like to come in and just do a ring of these raspberries, and I'll just show you what it would look like, and then I'll come back in afterwards and finish piping it in. But for the sake of time, just to give you an idea of what we're looking at as a finished product. I think I got 2 of those little pint size of the fresh raspberries. And I ate a couple of them before I started, so. But you'll have more than enough to do your whole cake if you just get a couple of those little pint size. There's those double ones that you can get at the grocery store. That's what I did the first time around, and then I went back and they didn't have the double, so I got the singles. But there's plenty to just do around the whole thing, and then you just keep going in circles until this whole middle is full of raspberries. So you get a bite of the chocolate caramel sauce, the chocolate frosting, the chocolate cake, and then this fresh burst of fresh raspberry.
Which, in my opinion, is delicious with chocolate. I love anything with raspberry and chocolate.
Raspberry and chocolate is delicious.
Yes.
So I would like to say that go ahead. In the last 3 weeks, we have shared with you 3 different ideas on what to do for Valentine's Day. We started off with our chocolate cherry cheesecake, our triple chocolate cherry cheesecake, the white chocolate cheesecake.
Which was so delicious.
Yeah. It was really good.
I am still overwhelmed by how good that cheesecake was.
It's a good cheesecake. And then last week we did those trifles, which my Aunt Diane said she made for Super Bowl, and those were fantastic, I'll have to say. And now this chocolate cake. So if you want to be a little more adventurous, the cake for sure is going to take you the longest to make. It's the most, kind of, the frosting part, I think, is the part that takes the long part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because it takes a while to cook it up. But I mean, if you just turn your stand mixer on, you can kind of get there faster than how we did it here today. But there you go. I mean, this is the gist of what the finished product would look like right there. So, yeah. So, with that, we hope you have a happy Valentine's Day this weekend. Get to baking, make something fun, make something that you haven't done before, and use the chocolate caramel sauce in the process. And Next week we'll try and do something without chocolate caramel because we've done 3 weeks in a row with chocolate caramel. But it tis the season.
That's what I just thought it was our theme, so just
so
going with it.
We'll come up with something new for next week. But
and if you haven't ever had the chocolate caramel sauce, it tastes like brownie batter. So it's brownie batter without any raw egg in it. So
that's right, or crumbs.
Yeah, yeah.
So. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Next Tuesday.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great week.